Hi, this is Mark from AltCoin Buzz, and today we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Some price action today, and so we might as well take a look at it. And today I'm going to also show you a different kind of chart. You may be looking at it right now saying, what the heck is this? But we're going to take a look at it for new traders. This is an easier way of looking at the chart and determining some of the patterns. So let's go back to what we traditionally look at. This is the candle patterns. The Heiken and Ashi candles are easier to look at than traditional candles because they contain kind of the basic up or down trend in that trading range in either a green or red fashion. So a green candle is mostly positive volume in that candle, and a red is obviously negative. So it makes it easier than traditional candles, but still it can get a little messy for a new trader that's trying to learn technical analysis. But we'll just review real quick what we were talking about the other night. We are still in this descending wedge, and again, this wedge will eventually compress down to the point where we have to either break out or break down. And this candle pattern that we were looking at the other night, and this is on the daily chart, was looking to form whether it was going to be a head and shoulders, this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and then potentially a right shoulder here. You can see that's flattened out on the day chart, so that would not be another shoulder or head and shoulders pattern. However, we still have this formation of a potential cup and handle. So we've got this cup here, and this is an inverse cup and handle, and then we've got the handle in here. Again, the theoretical is that break down from that handle on an inverse cup and handle. If it was going the other way, we had the cup forming from the bottom with the handle in here. The theoretical is that it would break to the upside. So that's just a quick review of the candle pattern that we were looking at the other night. And like I had mentioned, if we broke through the support level that is in here at this point in time, the next support level that we'll be looking at is somewhere in that $5,200, $5,300 range to see if we could bounce off of that. But that also would extend out our descending wedge if we were to drop down to that area. So let's go back to the point and figure chart. Now I'm doing all of this on tradingview.com. It is a free site that you can sign up for to do your charting on. It has all the tools in there, the drawing tools and everything that you need to draw out your trend lines. It's got some basic indicators that you can put on there for free, and it's just a great place to start. So this is the point and figure chart. This is a chart that a lot of people you won't see using on their TA when they're showing it on YouTube, but this is another chart that is really kind of cutting out the noise from those candles, and we'll go through how it works so you can see how to use it. But because it cuts out that noise, it gives you a little bit, as you're starting to look at charts, it gives you a little bit of an opportunity to evaluate the patterns. That cup and handle becomes a little bit more visible here on this chart, right? It's a little cleaner. It also becomes real easy to draw some of your trend lines. Okay, so how does the point and figure chart work? And I'm going to go through this quickly. It's not imperative that you understand this to the T, but you need to at least get familiar with it so that you understand what's going into these numbers. But I'll show you how to set it up on TradingView. So I'm just hoping that you get an understanding of this before we get done with this video. But essentially, let's just say we're looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's sitting at about $6,000, okay? And the price of Bitcoin goes from $6,000 to $6,025. I've set up the chart so that I don't want anything plotted on the chart until there's a $50 move made. So we'll just start with that. At $6,000, at $6,025, nothing is going to change on this chart. At $6,050, now it's at that $50 level that I've told it that I want to be looking at. It's going to plot another X in there. It went up to 6,050. At 6,060, 6,075, nothing is going to be charted. At 6,100, another $50 move, it'll chart another X in there. Goes up to 6,150, another X pops in. 6,200, another one comes in. 6,100 or 6,220, nothing gets plotted. 6,250, once again, an X shows up. Okay? This has really nothing to do with time necessarily, just price action. Now you have in a point and figure chart what is called reversal. So obviously when the price starts going down, we need to know that, right? It doesn't just keep going up. So when does it start plotting? It's going to now plot an O, a red O, when the price starts going down. When does it start plotting that? Well, you have what's called a reversal number, and my reversal number is 3, which means basically I don't want it to reverse and show the negative trend until there's a move of $150 or more. So let's just say Bitcoin goes down to 6,200. Nothing is going to happen on this chart. We're not going to get a green X. We're not going to get a red O. It's not going to take a green X away. It goes down to 6,150, same thing. Nothing's going to happen on the chart. But if it goes down to 6,100, that is a $150 move. It's a 3-box reversal. Each box is basically what you've assigned the value for. I have assigned $50 as my value, and I said if it makes a move of 3 times of those boxes, I want it to plot something. So that equals $150. Hopefully that math makes sense. So now it's going to plot a red O in that next column. That's when it's going to shift columns, is when it's made that 3-box reversal, the 3 times 50. And then let's say it goes up to 61.50. Well, it's not going to do anything. It's not made a move to the upside of $150 or more. It hasn't made a move to the downside of $50 or more. But then it goes down to 60.50, okay? It will put an O in there again. It goes down to $6,000. It'll put an O in there. And then let's say it goes to 59.90. Nothing is going to happen. Again, not a $50 increment, which I've assigned it to. The next time that it's going to start plotting anything in the column to the right is, again, when it makes that 3-box reversal. So the price of Bitcoin goes up another $150. That's when it will start plotting again. So we're sitting at 6,000 right now. It goes up to 650, nothing happens. 6,100, nothing happens. 6,150, now it's going to plot a green X. And it will continue to do that process as the price goes up and down. So now let's say we have a flash crash. It goes from 63.50 down to 6,200. Well, that's made a $150 move in totality. It's going to plot that red O, and it's going to continue to follow that as long as it keeps making $50 moves down. So then you can start looking at, if this is a higher high, right? And this is a higher low, then you've got an upward trend. Even though this price action is moving up and down, you can see the trend, and you can see it much easier on this chart than potentially you could if you're just starting on a regular candle chart or a Heikin Ashi. So now we go back to the Heikin Ashi chart, and we're trying to draw our trend lines here, and we're just starting out, and we're like, okay, so where do we draw them from? Do we take from the very top of the wicks to draw our trend lines? And a good trend line is going to have some intersections of at least 3. So where does that come in? Is it here? Do we want to go from the closes? Where are those lines going to go? I'm not really quite sure where to draw them. Am I going to get the right pattern? And so that can be confusing. But if you go to the point and figure chart and we take out all that noise, it makes it a lot easier to draw those lines now, right? So we can go in here and say, okay, that looks like a fairly decent trend line or support and resistance for confirmation. And you get a better sense of what that pattern might be looking like. There's some other things that you can do with this chart. You can do some counts to get you some price targets and some other things like that. But just giving you the general essence of the point and figure and how it distills down what's going on in the market to pure price action, it just makes things a lot easier and, again, takes out the noise. So this doesn't change my opinion on where we're at as far as the pattern goes. We're in this inverse cup and handle as far as I'm concerned. Again, looking at it from this aspect, right, that we've gone from there and then retested that support area and now are coming into this handle. And so from there, I'm looking to see if it would hold true to this pattern and break to the downside. And so from that aspect, nothing in my opinion has changed. Whether it's on this chart, whether it's on the other chart, nothing in my opinion has changed. And I'm not using any volume to this at all, but just purely from a price action standpoint. Now, one of the other things that I will caution you on if you're just getting into TA is to not just use a single thing like price action or charting patterns to make your decisions on. I mean, I'd use a combination of things to validate it. Not much has changed from the other night when we looked at the charts. We really have to hold the support level, or we're going to be looking at the next level down from there to see how we react to it. And then again, that will then extend our wedge out if we do break to the downside. Okay, so final thing, I know you want to set this up on TradingView. So the way that you do that is you get to the Bitcoin chart or the coin that you want to look at, and you're going to go up into this area where you can select the type of charting that you want to do. So this is Heikin Ashi right here, and go down to point and figure. Once you get to the point and figure, once you have this up on the chart, you're going to want to set your settings. And these are just the settings that I'm using. You can adjust them however you want. Box size is the price that you're looking at to have each one of those X's or O plotted at. So if you want to see movement based upon $25 or $100, whatever that is, that's where you put that in here. Your reversal amount is how much do you want it to reverse by on the upside or downside before it moves to the next column. And I've got mine set at 3. That's kind of the traditional. You could set it to 2 if you wanted to. So that would mean then on a box size of 50, for every $100 move, then it would start making a new column for you. Conversely, if you put a reversal amount of 4 for every $200 move, if your box size is 50, then that's when it would start the next column. So that's the way you set up your point and figure chart on TradingView, and we'll wrap it up there. So a lot to take in. I know I'm just trying to give you a little bit of basics. There's, go out and research point and figure charts. Go out and research chart patterns. You might also want to look at the megaphone pattern, which I think is also kind of showing up on the Heikin-Ashi charts. Another bearish formation outside of just this inverted cup and handle. So long story short, I don't think we're out of the woods by any means yet. So my hope is that this is giving you some foundation to start doing your own technical analysis, researching it a little bit more, and getting you down the road to making your own judgments on the charts, and then seeing if those hypotheses end up coming to fruition. The caution would be that this is not going to come overnight. I've spent literally hundreds of hours looking at charts and making my own mental predictions on where I think things are going, and sometimes actually financially putting some risk against those and being wrong. Logically, I know all I have to do is have more rights than wrongs to make money. It doesn't help when you make a wrong decision. I mean, I still beat myself up when I do. But there was a point that I got to where I said, I am good enough at this that I am not going to react to the market. I can be confident in my decision. And you know what? 7 out of 9 times, 10 times, I am right. So that confidence leads me to the fact that I can make better trades. Hopefully this helps. Don't forget to make your comments below. Also follow us on AltCoin.io. That's a good starting place for all kinds of fundamental information. We have some great folks out there researching all day long and writing great articles on what they find. You can also get to our social media where you can have discussions with other folks in the space. And until next time, may all your trades be good ones.